This is April from the Vocal Veteran. I just wanted to hop on real quick because I just realized I've surpassed 100 subscribers to the YouTube channel, which is super exciting. And I had told myself, I made myself a promise that once I reached 100 subscribers, I would start to do live Q&A videos. So here we go. Here's our first one. And I know you'll bear with me as I learn to do these. I thought I'd come with something prepared today since this is like completely off the cuff and unexpected. So I just recently, last month, got a decision letter in the mail from the VA, and it occurred to me, I've gotten many of them over the years now, but it occurred to me that if it was my first time getting a VA decision letter, I might be overwhelmed by all the information that's included, and you don't really know what to pay attention to and what to just kind of move past. And so every decision letter that you get from the VA has the first, let's see, 5 pages. The first 5 pages of your decision letter are going to be the same first 5 pages that everybody gets. So I can confidently go through those with you and help you to see just like what all of the different elements of the decision letter mean. And then maybe in coming videos, I can talk more about the actual decision itself, which is the pages that come after these first 5 pages. So if you have any questions specific to decision letters from the VA, pop those in the comments. If I don't answer them right away, I can always come back and answer them later. As I mentioned, this is a spur of the moment live to celebrate surpassing 100 subscribers. So yay, thanks for celebrating with me, and thanks for being a subscriber if you are one. And I just want to be of service and help you as I have been helped by others in the past to understand the VA process, to understand the claims process, and the more we know, the more successful we can be. So the first page of your decision letter is going to tell you at the top, it's going to have the date and your full name and your full address. And then it's going to say, we made a decision on your benefits. And then it'll say, dear, and then your name. And it'll tell you, this letter is going to tell you everything you need to know about the decision we made on your claim. And here's what you claimed. So then they have some bullet points for what you claimed. And then they do this thing where they do like I'm trying to fold this so it doesn't show too much of my own personal information here. It does like a chart. So you have your combined rating evaluation and then the effective date of that rating. So my first evaluation rating was when I got out of the military, which was May of 2007. And they rated me at that point at 0%. And so then, since then, I've had many decisions. And so it'll go through like, then we rated you at this percentage on this date and this percentage on this date and all the way through. And even like, you may know or not know that if you are ever hospitalized or have surgery for a service-connected condition, then you can have temporary 100% disability for the time that you are recovering from surgery or from hospitalization directly connected to your service-connected condition. So I've talked many times in videos about my foot surgeries. So each time I had a foot surgery, that was a service-connected condition, and therefore I had a temporary 100% rating while I was recovering from that surgery or from those surgeries. So it'll even say that. So it'll say like you were 100% for this amount of time, and then we went back to your original percentage for this time. So that's all on the first page. And then if you turn the page, it talks about how VA combines percentages. So if you have more than one disability rating, you will have found out by now that VA math is not regular math. The best description I have heard about how to handle VA math or how to like do it in your head is to think about it as if it's like a percentage off sale. So if you were at the grocery store and something was 50% off, well then you would still pay the 50%, right? And then if it was an additional, let's say 30% off that, it wouldn't be 80% off. It would be 50% and then 30%. So that's how the VA does disability ratings for the most part. If you're trying to like quickly figure out what your rating is, that's a good way to look at it. So you take your highest percentage off and then take the other percentages off from there. They look at your whole body as the 100%, and then sort of as you have disabilities, they evaluate whether, you know, how much of your 100% of your fully healthy self is still there, and then how much the military costs you basically in your health. So then it tells you your monthly entitlement amount and the payment start date of that amount, and then the reason, which would be like in December, every December, well, not every December, but if you're going to get a cost of living adjustment, those happen in December. So it'll tell you December 1st, you had a cost of living adjustment and your payment went to this amount. And then in my case, I have a child who is a dependent. And so it lists the date that I'm going to not have him as a dependent anymore, which is way in the future because he's 5 years old right now. But they just want to make sure I know that back, you know, when it comes time and he's 18, then he will be taken off as a dependent. And so then my payment amount will change because of that. However, hopefully he will be in college and that'll be a different bridge to cross. So anyway, so then it tells that they're currently paying me as a veteran with 2 dependents because I have a spouse and a child. And then it says, hey, if we're wrong on this, you better let us know. In fact, it says, please notify us immediately. And then here comes an important one, what you should do if you disagree with our decision. Okay, so now we're on page 3. And then I've cut off at the top of each page is going to be your name, your full name, and your full social security number on the top of every page, front and back. So I've cut that off for the benefit of this video, but just be aware anything you get from the VA, with few exceptions, is going to have your full name and your full social security number on it. So keep your documents secure, please. Okay, so now it tells you what review options you have. So let's say you get a decision in the mail and it is not a favorable one and you want to challenge that decision. You have 3 review options and they're telling you about them here. Supplemental claim, higher level review, or an appeal to the Board of Veterans Appeals. Now, the appeal to Board of Veterans Appeals is like, that's like going straight to the principal's office instead of like trying to talk to your teacher first or trying to talk to any like other superiors. So I would not recommend going straight to the Board of Veterans Appeals. It'll tell you in a later page how long that takes, and that is a very long process. So supplemental claim or higher level review are your better options, and those are the ones I would recommend. Now, explain why in a few minutes. Okay, so then it's just telling you that they've enclosed a form to talk about your decision review options, and then on the back of this page 4, it'll tell if you have a claims agent or if you had a veteran service officer help you with your claim, then they copy that person on your letter. So your letter comes to you, but it also goes to your veteran service officer if you have one. It talks again about my dependents and when I'm going to have multiple dependents and when I only am going to have one. And then it only matter, like dependents start to matter when you get above a 30% or higher in your disability rating. So if you have a rating of 10% or 20%, you just get a flat rate no matter if you have dependents or not. And then once you get to 30%, your payment amount changes depending on how many dependents you have. So if you have a spouse, if you have children, some people are able to claim parents as dependents and that kind of thing. So then it basically says if this evaluation letter is taking you to 30% or higher, then you need to let us know if you have dependents so that we can change your pay accordingly. And then on the back of this page, it says, if you're incarcerated, you need to let us know because then your payment changes for that. And then here's additional benefits that you can have because of a disability rating. Include the education, training, and employment, medical care and treatment. So if this is your first VA rating, then this like opens you up to getting VA healthcare. Then they have all kind of resources here for you to get signed up and start with treatment at a VA facility. And then home loans. I think most of us, I know that was probably the first VA benefit I ever took advantage of, was getting a home loan. So you probably already know about that. If you have a VA home loan and you have a disability rating, you can have your funding fee refunded. So they talk about that. They talk about government life insurance. I don't really know much about that. You now have access to the Armed Forces Commissary and Exchange, and you can be paid for travel for your medical appointments. Like anytime you go to a medical appointment, you can be paid for mileage to and from. So that payment for travel, you can get retroactive travel pay. So I have another video on this I can link after I'm done with the live. But if let's say you put in a claim and 6 months from now that claim is approved and you get service connection for a knee issue, well then all of those appointments that you've had in the last 6 months, you can apply and get retroactively paid travel for those appointments. So again, I have another video on that. I'll link it in, like after I'm done with this, I'll come back and link it in the comments. But that is a great benefit that they don't, it's literally on the last page that you get. So retroactive travel pay. And then here's something they don't tell you about that I discovered on my own is you can get retroactive pay or refunds for your pharmacy medication fees. So up to a certain disability rating level, I'm sorry, I don't know off the top of my head, you only get your medication for service-connected conditions for free, and then you pay a certain copay for others. But then once you pass a certain threshold, then all of your medications are free. And at one point, I was service-connected for a knee issue, and then prior to, during the time when the claim was being adjudicated, I had many different medicines that I took through the VA for my knee. And I had paid out of pocket because at the time my knee wasn't service connected. Well, when I got my decision letter and I got service connected for the knee issue, I thought, well, now from now on, I don't have to pay at the pharmacy for this medicine, but maybe since this decision letter effective date is 6 months ago, maybe I can get paid back. And sure enough, I called my pharmacy, I explained it. They just needed a copy of my decision letter, and then I got refunded all that money. So that's something, they give you retroactive travel pay, but they don't tell you you can also get retroactive refunds on your pharmacy fees. So there you go. Okay, so now we're down to the last 2 pages that everybody gets in every decision letter. This one is where to send your correspondence if you have any issues. They give you all the different mailing addresses and PO boxes and toll-free numbers and all that jazz. But what they say up here is VA recommends submitting correspondence electronically as this is the fastest method of receipt. And that's all I've ever done is electronic. So I would encourage you to take advantage of that if at all possible. Electronic communication is the fastest for sure. Oops, excuse me. And here is the last page that everyone gets in a decision letter. And this is your right to seek review of our decision. And so I've mentioned before, the board appeal is it's like going straight to the principal's office instead of going through all the other steps first. So I do not recommend going straight to the board appeal. And also because while the supplemental claim and the higher level review each say 125 days on average for a decision, this one says 365 days or more. And that is a conservative effort. A conservative estimate. I would say across the board, that's a conservative estimate. My experience lately has been with any claim, it's taking a significantly longer than 125 days. So there you go. So really your two options that I am familiar with and would recommend are the supplemental claim or the higher level review. Supplemental claim is if you have new evidence to submit to support that issue. So let's go back to the knee issue. Let's say it's you put in a claim for service connection for a knee issue and they denied your claim. Well, then if you have found evidence or have new evidence since you submitted the original claim, then you submit a supplemental claim with that new evidence. That new evidence could be, hey, I've been to a doctor's appointment since then, and here's more clarification on the diagnosis. It could be a personal statement, either from you or from your partner or from someone you served with that says, yes, I remember this person getting injured in service, and so more proof of service connection. There's many things that can be new evidence to submit with a supplemental claim. So that's the supplemental claim route. And then the higher level review is something you're not able to submit any new evidence for. You just want somebody else to look it over. And it's basically when you know that they've made a mistake and just not seen a piece of evidence or not considered a piece of evidence, then you can just put it in for a higher level review, and a different person is going to look through everything and see if they agree or overturn the original decision that was made. I recently was talking with a friend who put in for a higher level review where the person who did his C&P exam just made some notes about his condition but didn't check the box. And then the person who gave him a rating didn't read the notes and just looked at the boxes, and the box wasn't checked, and so didn't give him the appropriate rating. So we put it in for higher level review. The next person is going to read the material more thoroughly, hopefully, and then give him the correct rating on the condition. So those are the two routes, are supplemental claim and higher level review. And I hope that clarifies all that's in the first 5 pages of your decision letter and what to really pay attention to and what you can kind of breeze past. Like, most of this is not going to apply to every person, but it's like boilerplate stuff they have to include with every decision letter. So a lot of times, and I know it was the case for me when I was getting my first few decision letters, was like, it's just information overload in the first 5 pages. And so then by the time you get to your actual decision and you're reading the nuts and bolts of why they decided what they did, you're just so overwhelmed, you just kind of shut down. So I hope this helps you. If nothing else, just kind of take the first 5 pages, put them to the side, and read the actual decision first, and then come back to these if they apply to you. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments. I'm doing this, as I said, as a celebration of surpassing 100 subscribers for the Vocal Veteran YouTube channel, and I'm just super excited to be here and continue to serve in this capacity. I'm going to put a link to the travel pay, pharmacy back pay that I mentioned video. I'll put a link to that video in the comments. If you have any questions for a future live Q&A, please put those in the comments. If it's something that you don't want everybody in the world to see, you're welcome to email me directly. I'm the only person that checks this email. It is thevocalveteran@gmail.com. So you're welcome to email me there, and I will help if I can. All right. Y'all have a great day.